But then just have a thought. So for the perfect gene brand use case, like after the incremental analysis, we found that the virality had a significant role, right? So uh, I mean, not sure how we can measure that, but just a thought.
No, but that's the media mix was the measurement. Can you guys react to that? The 41% for the virality, word of mouth. How do you guys? Sorry, go ahead, Kamal. Finish your thought.
Yeah, I'll finish my thought. So I was thinking like, so similar use case what we have seen, like not virality, but brand equity increasing, having a high presence. So in such cases, we have seen organic traffic, for example, site direct or even Google search, organic search, having a very high, like high touch points, basically. Did we do a check in Google Analytics or something? Like, was there a spike in the organic traffic for?
No, this spike. There's a good chance. I haven't looked at it directly, but I know that direct was a big portion of their overall source medium cuts. In terms of spiking, the question that Ovadia is asking is that was both Eli and Ovadia are asking is that in the sensitivity analysis, we came back and I said 44% of new customers are baseline customers for you. They're not from media, they're just walking in the door. And he's like, that's no way that's true. There's no way that can be true. I'm a young brand. I've been only around for 3 years. There's no way more than about half my business is walking into the door without media and advertising, stimulating the behavior. And we did this media mix model to figure out, or is there word of mouth? Is there virality where people buy a pair of jeans and they say, oh, this is great. Let me recommend this to my friends, so to speak. And you can track it, but can we estimate it somehow? And we took this approach of using autoregressive coefficient to estimate it. Ovadia and Eli, how is that landing on you guys? When you look at that result, you're like, dude, that can't be true. Or is it more like, okay, I don't buy it, but how do you just react to it?
I actually think that was one of the that was very surprising in a good way. And I don't know. I that's actually something that I do want to figure out how to test through in a little bit more, because I sort of may want to even just say like, let's turn off all ads for 2 weeks or a month. Because if that 44% is true, I'm fine. And let's just see what happens. I do think that you can harvest a lot of old impressions, so to speak. So let's say impressions last, right? Like you might have served an impression that didn't get a click 3 months ago and someone decides they want a gene and they're for you. So I think you can turn off ads at some point and just say like, let's just harvest all those 44% of people who we think would have come and see if it's actually 44%. And maybe it may not be, I don't know, but
you want to test and validate that insight is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, because if it's true, there's a lot of money that we can just harvest
I know
without spending on ads.
I don't think it's like people just coming in the door. I think it's someone ordering a pair of jeans and then they're so impressed and they love them so much that they go and they tell a bunch of their friends and family. And that's like my hypothesis. So it's not directly coming from media, it's coming from word of mouth, which I think is huge for us. Because even myself, like before I started working here, I got a pair of jeans and I told people about them, right? And I don't know, Madan has our jeans. He probably told some friends about them. I think because the product really sells itself, in my opinion. So I think the way I was thinking about it, actually, it's like we can take this 44%, right? And we can actually create a new ROAS, like we can create a multiplier for our ROAS, and our ROAS is actually maybe higher due to the virality of each purchase we get, if that makes sense. So that's how I'm thinking about it. But I don't know, Madan, how do you
that's one way to think about this. Exactly. Yeah. Blend the virality into media. If truly you're saying that I bring one customer through media and that customer gets me another customer, then maybe you should go back and give media credit for driving the first customer, right? If that's true, then all of a sudden your ROAS is twice or your CPA is half, and all of a sudden you have a lot more headroom than you originally thought.
Yeah, and then you would have to test into it. But Madan, something that also, but a part of this that's also really important, right? And I would love your opinion. We ask in our post-purchase survey, we do ask, like, how do you hear about us? One of the answers is friends and family. and only 5% of responses say friends and family. So that's also, but maybe, I don't know, maybe those
No,
people.
there are two hypotheses. One hypothesis, what you said, which is word of referrals. Ovadia is like, no, it's not. It's just ad stock. It's this impressions that have not converted, that are in market. There's latent demand that we've created. He's saying, let's just cut our spend and let's just like take the money from the latent demand. It should come in, is what he's saying. So it's two different POVs, and they're both testable. I mean, we can test.
And I don't know the answer. I'm just
Well, it comes, but then it'll stop coming if we turn off ads. It's just gonna stop. But so it's like, how much do we want to? How long do we actually want to stop running ads for? I don't know. But Madan, what do you think? I want your opinion.
I mean, the answer is to test. We can absolutely design a test for that, and we can estimate which one of these hypotheses is true. But what I would also do is go through a decision matrix and say, how would you act differently? Would you blend the ROAS down, or would you assume that at any point of time there's about half your new customers are waiting to walk in the door? You're building up that funnel, and you can always juice it up. You can just turn off your media. All of a sudden, your P&L numbers could look really good for a couple of months if you want to do that. It's kind of a cheat, and if you're about to raise money, you can do that for a bit and play some games like that. But that's about it. It's a short-term thing. You turn it off for a bit. You just take in some profit. Don't spend any money. And maybe it's just something in your back pocket at all times, because some demand's been created waiting for you. It's just going to show up on the door. You just have to be patient with it. And those are two decisions you could make, right? I mean, we have to figure out what the decisions are, and then we can absolutely design a test that helps you kind of tease it out.
It's a fascinating question. If we turned off ads for 6 months, what does the business look like in month 7? I couldn't tell you, but like, that's a kind of a crazy thing. That's like, who's ever going to do that? But it could be that the business cuts in half or cuts by 90%. I don't know, but it would be very, very profitable. That's for sure. Like, I do have friends who've cut their ad spend in their business from, I don't know, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a month to 50,000. And sure, they're half size, but they're not 90% of where they're not 10% of where they were. They're 50%, which is very interesting. Different brand, different scenario, but like, wow. Okay. So all of a sudden it went from, yeah. And it was a very viral, very organic Instagram led product. So it made sense. And it turns out the ads weren't nearly as important as they thought. And it went from being break even, doing, 5 million a year at a break even for 3 years, to making $300,000-$500,000 of profit on $1 million of business. And it's like, interesting. Okay. Wow.
Okay. So I think we have time for like maybe 1 or 2 questions. Okay. Right. Rashmi, you go.
I have 2 thoughts, not directly related to this. One is 41% repeat really healthy for a business? Because 41% is really high for a repeat customer. And that says that the new customer percentage is not as healthy as it should be. So that's my one question. Second question related to that is testing, the virality of it, testing whether these are customers who are coming by referral. Instead of pausing ads and all, won't a referral campaign kind of answer this question? Because one is word of mouth, assuming that it's word of mouth. Another is if our existing customer has say a offer or a discount to share with their friends and family, and they get something in return, but we can just measure the usage of that code, and that will help us know, okay, how many are really coming from word of mouth, right? Instead of pausing.
I actually think a referral campaign like you're discussing is not actually word of mouth. That is a marketing campaign. It's not real word of mouth. It's giving an incentive. It changes your true word of mouth, which is free. So it's a different type of campaign. It reacts differently. There's a lot of reasons why I don't love those. They can work, but it's different than what we really want, which is free marketing, which is true word of mouth baseline marketing. And I think referral marketing is, it's functionally a different thing. It's not someone who's talking about your product organically. It's someone who's responding to an incentive or an offer. So I think that there is a difference there. I think measuring those campaigns are actually much harder than they think. I think the tools are weird. There's a lot of fraud in those. And I think there's a lot of challenges with measuring that perfectly. but that's one. I think in terms of the new versus repeat, there's two ways to measure new versus repeat traffic. First is percent of revenue today. That is very problematic. Or over a time period, what's the mix? That's actually very problematic because that is directly related with marketing you're spending on new customers, right? So if I spend 10x on new customers today, it's going to look like I have a very low percentage of repeat because my new customer is spiking. So that's very problematic. And conversely, if I pull back spend, my trailing 30 days, it looks like my new is low and my repeat is high. So the real way to measure new versus repeat is at a cohort level. The standard is look at every customer acquired in a given month or a given quarter and look over the next 30 days, 180 days, 360 days. What percent of people acquired in month one or quarter one have made a second purchase? That's the right way to do it. And in that case, is if you're at 40% of your cohort, if I acquired 100 customers and 40 have purchased again, in general, you should have healthy economics because you're building up your slices of repeat performance, where even though it's degrading, 40% have purchased and every month, more and more people get added to that pie. At some point, it degrades to a point where it's not so relevant, but it becomes, that's very healthy. And over time, that ends up being your profit engine. It's very hard to make money on new customers after marketing. You can do it. We are profitable on new customers, but the repeat is where you really make your money because that's quote unquote building a brand, and then you can spend less and less on marketing to them. And that's where you can really make quite a bit of profit. But cohort analysis is really, really, really critical for understanding repeat customer behavior. That's really, really the key. Not looking at it as a percentage of new versus repeat customers or revenue on any given time period.
Maybe month, yeah.